Okay, so content warning, this video is going to be quite a bit more heavy than most of the stuff. I'm going to talk about COVID, and unfortunately I don't have really anything optimistic to say. No real bright side to this whatsoever. So if you're bumming about that, maybe just skip the video because I'm just going to bum you out, basically. But what I want to talk about is the music scene right now in COVID, in particular, like your local music scene. Now, I can only speak for my peers in my city, but there's definitely a strong divide between what we feel we should be doing right now in terms of, being musicians. On one hand, people are saying that we should still wait, and I should mention that I'm recording this on September 28th of the year 2021. So everyone at this point that wants to get vaccinated has had the opportunity to get vaccinated. That's a really important thing for this discussion. But of the two sides, one side thinks that we should keep waiting. We should try and keep it locked down and bands shouldn't be playing out at all. And then the other side is saying, well, it's time to get back to business. And I understand both sides. I don't think that it's irrational to think that everything should stay locked down. I mean, people are still dying at an alarming rate. ICUs are still full. Like, it's still a shit show out there. But my issue is you're saying we should wait. And wait for what? Like, this is the saddest part, honestly. I genuinely believe that this is it. Like, I don't see what we're waiting for. I don't think it's gonna ever get any better. Like, different studies are saying different things for herd immunity. It could be anywhere between 70% vaccinated required or up to 90%. And we're only at like 45-50%. So I don't see how we're going to get that extra 25% of the entire American population. Now, one thing I do totally empathize with is people who are saying that you want to wait until there is the K through 12 version of the vaccine. I think that's super valid. Honestly, like vaccinating children, that's kind of the last step that we have to go. And so if you're someone who has kids, I totally think it's valid for you to still be closed in as much as possible until your kids are able to get vaccinated. That makes perfect sense to me. But for everyone else, like, I never interact with children. I don't have kids, or that's not really much of a factor for me. That said, when I do shows now, I do put in a vaccine mandate because, sure, vaccinated people can still get the virus. However, a non-vaccinated person is 32 times more likely to get the virus. And also, they're the ones that are going to end up in the ER. Even if I did somehow get COVID after being vaccinated, I'd still only want to surround myself with other vaccinated people because we're just rolling the dice a lot less. Like, the worst case scenario is a heck of a lot worse. So I do think that there is a very big distinction between performing in front of a vaccinated crowd versus performing in front of just anyone. And maybe you don't think that that's a worthwhile distinction. And honestly, I think that's valid. Like, I'd love to talk to someone about that, someone who feels that way. But I haven't heard super good arguments. The main argument I keep hearing is just, we need to keep waiting. We need to keep waiting. We need to wait for it to be safer. And that's the sad part, is like, I don't see what we're waiting for anymore. I think this is tragic. I think it's pathetic that this is as far as America could get. But there's a lot of systemic reasons for that. I mean, I'm going to try not to get too political, but it does have a lot to do with education, and it does have a lot to do with people's trust of the government and medical fields in general and in the media. Like, a lot kind of led up to having half of your entire population so distrusting, and in some cases so stupid, that they're willing to put themselves and their family at risk for the sake of, I don't know, I guess they're just more scared. People, I suppose they're more scared of whatever conspiracy they believe than they are of the very real reality of, we're all, by the time this video is up, 5 million people have died. That's horrifying, and it's so tragic. And it's even more sad that 50% of the population in America doesn't see that as enough of an issue. Yeah, if they still haven't turned now, what's gonna turn them eventually? Like, that's it. Like, the anti-vaxxers are not gonna budge on this stuff. They're lawyering up in every case that they can. It's really out of control, and I don't think waiting for half of the population to suddenly become not stubborn is ever going to happen. These folks are in it for the long haul. At this point, it's more of a point of pride than anything. So, if you want to wait for them, I mean, good luck. But if we did all wait, I mean, there goes all of our venues. I mean, half my friends work in spaces that provide live music and art and bars and stuff. I think that all of them deserve their job. I think all of those spaces deserve to stay open. Because the reality is there is no more PPE. This is it. Like, we're in the end game here. This is not a pandemic. This is an endemic. This is an embarrassing permanent fixture of American life. This is never going to go away, and we're slowly going to decline from a first world country into some really sad stuff that I won't get into, but that's honestly what I believe, and I wish I didn't. I would love people to comment on this video and say something optimistic and say how you think the pandemic's going to end in America. How, like, legit, honestly, because I don't know. How do you see this ending? Because I don't. I mean, 70, even if it was like the lowest estimate of herd immunity, 75%. I don't see us getting even half of the people that are still not vaccinated. I mean, we've been at this for almost 2 years now, and you still don't believe in a vaccine? You're still not there? That's not the type of thing you can just talk people out of. So, yeah, it's all extremely sad, but to those who think that we should still be waiting before we can play live music again, I want to reiterate that I think your opinion is totally valid, but it's not that I don't think we should try to reduce harm. It's that I don't see any more work to do. Like, I think this is it. Honestly, like, we've done what we can, and now we either watch all of the hard work and scenes and spaces that we've built over the years. We either lose that as well, or we shift gears and try to do stuff with vaccinated, proof of vax only events. I don't really see a third option here. I don't really see a scenario in which we all just hunker down again for another 6 to 8 months, just waiting for people to get vaccinated who are literally never going to get vaccinated. People who have proven upon masses, millions of them, that they would rather die than get vaccinated. That's what you're up against. So I don't think that you can have it both ways. I don't think that you can keep all of these jobs and spaces at this point and stay shut down. Not that I'd want any of it this way. Like, I'm extremely disappointed in so much about the country and how it's responded to just about all of this, but I will save you those long rants there. I just thought that it would be worthwhile to talk about where I'm coming from and why I believe that live music is worthwhile to do under safer conditions, because I don't really see any other way. But again, if you can show me why you believe that 50% of the population hunkering down again will somehow bring us to herd immunity, let me know, because I can't find anything. I can't follow that rationale. I can't see how it makes any difference. That's basically what it is. It's like, I agree with you. We shouldn't be doing shit. We should be hunkered down. But like, at this point, I don't see what the difference is. And that's really sad. And that's a super defeatist attitude. And I wish I didn't feel that way, but I do. And I will say that since I started doing music again live, I've been way less depressed. I've felt like my life is much more worth living. I've been a much more productive, happy person, because that's part of how I'm wired. It has been tremendously beneficial to my health to get back to doing what I love most, which is sharing and experiencing art with the ones I love. So I'll take that trade up now because I don't see what I'm trading it for. Sorry, that's a freaking bummer. But I felt the need to explain myself because it's not that I don't care. I definitely care. I just don't understand I don't understand how it gets better, that's all. Anyways, thanks for listening.